Hello, hello, hello. Nice to see you all again. So, I want to show you some stuff that I've been into lately. There's this book I've been reading. It is great. It is called The Hidden Teaching by Sheldon Moore. So, I kind of wanted to show you guys some of that. That's what I probably should have named the title, um, but I didn't. So, here we go. What you see over here are orbs, blue orbs that have been photographed in the sky. The one that's right here has been photographed in the sky. I seen that. I seen that a few years ago. I seen it like 6 years ago. So I wanted to talk about it because when I got this book, oh, another. I've seen other orbs. The other orbs I wanted to talk to you about. This is one of them, and there's a clear, like iridescent orb that I kept seeing around the time that my husband died. Now this was before he communicated to me and talked to me. And in this book, The Hidden Teaching, which I'll read a little bit to you in a minute about it and about Sheldon. He is from British Columbia, and he wrote about Zen and a couple other books. This one he just wrote in May, and it's called The Hidden Teaching. If you can see a little bit, Sheldon Moore. I'll stop sharing in a minute, but this blue orb, my son and I seen a couple of months after I'd seen my husband and all that stuff happened. And it was like a plasma orb in the sky, and it was pulsating, and the center would pulse, the outside would pulse, and it was at a different like this, right? And it was kind of cool. I felt I felt a lot of love from that. It was hard to explain, and my kid did too. So there you go. There. Anyway, so this book I got. Let's read a little bit about it. Let's see. So, Hidden Teaching by Sheldon Moore. See, now you can see a little better the book. Sheldon Moore in the back. I like his little shell. So, it talks about awakening to our nature is a journey that has many obstacles. He's talking about awakening to our spiritual journey back to God, back to source. If you look at it like we are the fallen angels and descended from heaven down levels and levels and levels to where we are now, and we're awakening to the spark inside us that is God, right? That is source. That is our creator. And usually around 40 or 45, he talks about it, that's when you start waking up to building your spiritual body, right? And that's what we're supposed to be doing here, is building our spiritual body to make it back to Christ or God or source or whatever you call him. So in here it says, awakening to our nature, there is a journey that has many obstacles. The excesses and demands of the modern world make it even more difficult to attain enlightenment. And I know you've all heard about enlightenment. And especially right now, where all that Billy Carson stuff is going on, because he teaches a lot of this stuff. But let's not stray from the fact that I have learned more spiritually about God than I did in the Catholic Church growing up about God. Do you see what I'm saying? On my own, I've learned more. And every day, because I talk to God. I found God when my husband died. I found God. And what started it all was seeing that little iridescent orb floating around me. And this one was clear. It was like this. But it was floating around me. And I was like, what is that? And I kept looking and looking and looking. And it's that right there. And that is a drawing of it. And that, it's on their India's flag. And that, see, I kept seeing that floating around after my husband passed. And I was like, am I losing it? So that's when I started looking that up and I found out that it's a soul without a body. He talks about that. He's the only one in the spiritual community that talks about it and knows what that is. During that time, I had a Kundalini awakening and it was sporadic. It was not planned. It just happened. Since then, I've been able to just communicate with God, just talk to him like you talk to your pal. And then I realized that's how it should have been all along. We should have always been taught to talk to God like he's our buddy, because he is. And that you don't have to go to a church to find him. And that you're not going to find your God, your creator, your source in a church unless the parishioners have God in them. They've woken up that God spark. They're walking the right way. They're acting the right way. They're more. You can't go into a church and everybody gossips about you when you leave and that be God. God's not there. So let me get off my soapbox and finish reading this. The hidden teaching explores lost elements of ancient teaching that can help the sleeping souls awaken much sooner. This teaching was known in our distant past and may even predate the religions and go back to the previous golden age. He even talks about the cycles and how the cycles are the cycles of time, the things that happened in certain ages are happening now, right? He talks about how global warming is not all us, it's cycles. Now, the cool thing is, he references a lot of biblical text and he goes back and explains a lot of the ancient texts. So that's why I love this book. I love this writer. He's really good. You can find a lot about Sheldon Moore, which we're going to be getting into this book. I'm going to do a few videos on this book. So important knowledge was lost during the Dark Age. The remaining fragments of the Kala Chakra Tantra demonstrate Buddha had full knowledge of the teaching, and so did Krishna, and he talks about their teachings. And I believe in their teachings too, which is Jesus. Jesus repeated a lot of their teachings, that we are one, that the source of God flows through us all, that that the soul needs working on too. Our soul is our connection to God. That's our lifeline. That's the voice in there. That's God talking through us. It's really good. So the hidden teaching reveals the key needed to awaken to our true nature. Now, a little bit about Sheldon Moore. He was born in Nelson, British Columbia, Canada, grew up on a farm situated along the banks of Peace River, and is in the northern part of the province. After completing a degree in electronics in the United States, he purchased an international career. Wait, he pursued an international career in telecommunications. He has also earned an MBA from Curtin University of Technology in Perth, Australia. During his extensive travels, he rediscovered the teachings of the Buddha. In 2001, he retired from the high tech university and returned to the mountains of British Columbia, where he currently lives in a cottage by the lake. I bet that's beautiful. Anyways, so what I wanted to show you was those pictures and read a little bit about some of the stuff that's in here because he explains how consciousness is it's not our mind, it's not in our mind. And the connection, to it all is actually um it's our soul. Like, and I agree. I think it's really interesting. He talks about the orbs of life, light within. That's chapter 1, the light within. Let's see. Chapter 2 is dropping desires, opinions, and distinctions. The Bhagavad Gita, or the will of life. Now, the will of life is hidden kingdom of Shambhala. Shambhala. That is cool. In the Bhagavad Gita and the Wheel of Life, it talks about the 6 realms of existence, the 3 poisons, the positive and negative karma, the 6 realms of existence. Like, this is really interesting and really good. And I'm going to read some of it to you guys as I go through it. I can't exactly read it all. I don't want to because not to you guys. I want you guys to get the book. But he talks about a lot of good stuff. So, anyways, I just wanted to get this out there and let you all know that I have found a good computer. Well, got a good computer I can work with. And so, I hope everyone is having a good holiday season so far. And, well, I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. And remember, be the reason someone believes in good people. And I will see you on the next one.